Clippers are 14-11 without Leonard and have the sixth best record in the Western Conference. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 invites you to join us in celebrating the season of giving by being part of the solution. As we enjoy great food, family, warmth, and well wishes in whatever our festive tradition may be, we share the beauty of the season by reaching out to the less fortunate. Please help us to help others with the KBLA Cover the Houseless Cozy Community Coat and Blanket Drive. All you have to do is drop off new or clean, gently used winter coats and blankets in the KBLA lobby during business hours, now through December 20th. All of the coats and blankets will be donated to unsheltered individuals and families experiencing houselessness. Simply bring your donation to 4434 Crenshaw Boulevard in Los Angeles, near Vernon Avenue, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. weekdays. That's 4434 Crenshaw in historic Leimert Park. During the holidays and every day, let's remember, we keep us safe. We keep us warm. We are the safety net. And together, we can cover the unsheltered. Get caught up in the spirit of the season, the spirit of love. Make a difference with your friends at KBLA Talk 1580.
God, oh God. Boy. I've been working all damn year. I just got my check. I'm about to spend it all on me. I'm worth it. Yeah. Hold up. Tell me what you say. Pull up. Swerve. Watch these mo. Freak. Watch her say what up, though, when you see me in the street. Good music in this. Now drop that mo. Okay, now this to all of my enemies that see me getting guap right now. See me getting guap right now. See me getting guap right now. This to all of my hating foes that see me getting guap right now. See me getting guap right now. Hell yeah, won't stop right now. This to all of my old foes that see me getting guap right now. See me getting guap right now. Hell yeah, won't stop right now. See me getting guap right now. Hell no, won't stop right now. Hell no, won't stop right now. See me getting guap right now.
Welcome to Wealth Building Wednesdays, where we center Black, women, and BIPOC-owned businesses, highlight opportunities and initiatives for underrepresented entrepreneurs, and center socially innovative enterprises, building generational prosperity, fostering real networking, and recycling Black dollars. It's Wealth Building Wednesdays on KBLA Talk 1580.
And this is where we spotlight you. So if you want to be included on a Wealth Building Wednesday, please reach out to diprimaradio@gmail.com or hit me up on any of the social medias, KBLA 1580. We're on every platform. DM us there or DM me at DiPrima Radio. Not on Facebook though. I never go in my Facebook DMs, but I'm there all the time on Instagram, Twitter, and now Blue Sky. What? Okay, so bringing one of my loved ones on today to talk about her business. She's a filmmaker, photographer, and writer from Newark, New Jersey. Is that a hint? She works in both New York and Los Angeles, and she also happens to be, full disclosure, my niece, Amandla Baraka. Welcome.
Hi, Dominique. How you doing?
Good. So look, you have a very enterprising spirit. You are a filmmaker. You've directed commercials. You've done short films, music videos, all kinds of things, right? Tell us about some of the work you've done in your artistic pursuits.
Yeah, I mean, I started as a fashion photographer in New York City. I trained as a journalist at Howard, so I went to school for journalism, and maybe like a third of the way, or maybe 75% of the way through my college career, I realized I wanted to make films, and it was too late for me to transfer majors, so when I graduated, I just bought a camera and started running around New York City taking pictures of whoever and whatever I could. And that eventually landed me a job in content creation, which ultimately became, fashion filmmaking, fashion editorial photography, and then commercial filmmaking. So my career has transformed from that point. But I also have created documentaries, and I'm also in the process of creating a narrative short film. And yeah, that's my artistic journey. I mean, it's always evolving. I feel like when I first started, I was very interested in the journalism aspect of it, and now I'm way more interested in the narrative side of things.
Well, it's also, I think, notable. You say running around taking photos, but your photos have been featured in the New York Times. I mean, you are actually a pretty accomplished photographer.
Thank you. Yes, I don't know why I'm being humble about it. Yes, I was in the New York Times, and I have a piece in the LA Times coming out too.
Oh,
this
yay.
month.
So, how do you get to the point from I bought a camera after I graduated and started running around taking pictures to being hired by actually top talent in the music industry, Wall Street, or Madison Avenue firms to do commercials and major journalistic outlets to feature your photos?
It was all a blur, honestly. No, that's a great question. I feel blessed every day. I just, I tried to put myself in positions where I could be seen, my work could be seen. I think that was the most significant part of my growth. So my first job as a content creator in-house, that brand, it was called Ashosi. That brand, we grew that following to over 10,000 followers. And as we grew the following count, I was putting my work on that platform. So a lot of people saw my work as I was growing as an artist. They saw my work building with that platform. And so I gained a lot of followers, and then I gained a lot of community, a lot of artistic community. And from that point, I was able to just expand my network. And then I started working at a brand called Pierre Moss, which is another big platform fashion company. And my work was on that platform. And so because I was putting my work on these huge platforms, my work was able to be seen. And I think that's really important because there are a lot of people who make great work, but then they hide it, or there's no platform for their work.
Yeah.
And I think the most important part of my growth has been me being able to share my work on these big platforms that I was working for in-house. And those special people who could see that it was me doing that work behind the scenes, they saw that it was me, and they kind of helped me get to the next level every time it was time for that. So that's been
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that's been the big thing for me as an artist now, just trying to make sure that, the people that come up with me or the people that even that I mentor have opportunities to be seen. I feel like that is huge.
So you're continuing, your work as a filmmaker and a fine arts photographer, but you've launched a business taking your experience as a content creator along with your artistic skills as a filmmaker and photographer and transforming it into what?
Yeah, so I opened up a social content studio. I read a lot about the industry, and I was kind of looking around one day and being like, okay, things are changing. I often say, if I continue just waiting for opportunities to come to me, I'm going to be a very poor lady. So I had to figure out a way to take control of my career, because in commercial filmmaking, a lot of times you're just waiting on someone to give you an opportunity. You're waiting on a bid to come in. You're waiting on a pitch to come in so that you have the opportunity to create a pitch for it. It's not even like you absolutely get that job. And while I still do that work, I opened up the content studio because I saw that everything, it's been doing this for a while, but everything is moving digital, especially in the commercial space. People are making social content only commercials, so mm-hmm. I saw the change, and I wanted to make sure that I could build something for myself that was stable and long lasting. And so my content studio currently services like small brands and influencers, and we create content, we produce content, and we also repurpose and manage content. And that's been great because the one thing that a lot of businesses kind of fall short on is their marketing. And I feel like if there's a language that we can build around your brand through social media, then I think it could kind of double, and I don't want to just claim that it'll double your revenue, but it'll definitely double your engagement. And so I wanted to, one, create some sort of stability for myself, but also, two, I noticed that, a lot of brands fall short in that arena, and so I wanted to be helpful there, especially for smaller brands and, like, women of color and people of color. Like, we tend to hide ourselves more. And even I do it. Even at the start of this conversation, I was, like, I guess being overly humble, but I do think there's something to be said about, like, boasting and sharing what you're good at. And I'm great at doing that for other people, maybe not so much for myself.
Yeah. So tell me the name of your business and who your potential clients are that might be listening.
So the company is called To the People Studio. I currently work with smaller fashion brands. I've just started working with a chocolatier and an esthetician. And we are open. What I have on my website is, a social content studio for people who are invested in truth and beauty, which means that, we're coming from a genuine place, we're coming from an honest place, and we're putting out work that showcases your inherent value. I feel like that's really important. A lot of people don't really know what their inherent value is, and I think the starting work with us is figuring out what that is, like figuring out why you're special and what we can share with the world to show them why you're special.
And we can find this. It's a beautiful website, by the way. It's totheppl.studio. Totheppl.studio. So you help people sort of get their online presence and their branding and build their followings. This is and it's a great point because there are whole ad campaigns now that never hit traditional media. They're only living in the social space.
Social.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how would we connect with you if we want to hire you to help us be more fabulous in cyberspace?
Well, you can email me, Amandla, at tothepeople.studio. That's AMANDLA at TOTHEPPL.studio. We also are on Instagram at tothepeople.studio. And yeah, I think if you want to check out the website and see some of our work, we even have the lovely Dominique DiPrima featured on the website.
Yeah. Is this this can't be. Okay, we'll talk about that later. So what else do you want us to know about your business, Amandla Baraka?
I mean, really, I think I said everything I needed to say, but but I mean, for starters, what I'm invested in is sharing the inherent value of your business, and that doesn't mean you have to come to me already knowing your inherent value. That's really hard to figure out.
Right.
The first steps in working with me is figuring that out. I ask questions to kind of mine your thinking around why you built your business, who you built your business for, and what you want to genuinely say and what problem you're genuinely solving. And then we start from that point. So you don't have to have it all figured out. If you do want to work with me, we'll figure it out together. Absolutely.
So ideation, brainstorming, and then the actual production of the content. You do all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
Yes.
Well, thank you for stopping in, Amandla Baraka. And yes, absolutely. My very, very talented niece has done some work for me as well. And hopefully will continue to do so in the future. You can find her, Amandla, at totheppl.studio or online at totheppl.studio for their website. Thank you for joining us on a Wealth Building Wednesday.
Thank you. Have a good one.
And
Bye.
you as well. It's the perfect time to call me now. We're talking national, international, whatever's got you going, whatever's got you fired up so much that I will share with you when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward. Are you an entrepreneur looking to take your business to new heights? KBLA Talk 1580 is your partner in success. Every day, we celebrate and elevate Black-owned businesses across our community. Our KBLA SMB Marketplace currently features The Cookie Dip, Badass Bakes, Hair Concoction, Higher Education Accreditation Consulting, LACC Radiology Technology Department, and Malik Books. Your business deserves to be heard. Let KBLA Talk 1580 amplify your voice and connect you with our powerful community of listeners. Email smb@kbla1580.com today. That's smb@kbla1580.com. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about. KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cal Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580. On behalf of her precious family, it is with profound sadness that KBLA Talk 1580 announces the passing of our beloved colleague, Robin Ayers, on Thursday, December 5th. Robin was a bright light. You could see her radiant smile through the radio. We all respected her immense talent, loved her jovial spirit, celebrated her love of family, and honored her faith in God. Our thoughts and prayers are with Robin's entire family, most especially her husband Rob and her twin daughters Brooklyn and Madison. We ask you to join us in praying for the Ayers family as they navigate the difficult days ahead. In her honor, all this week, we're broadcasting the best of the Rob Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
Tips to help improve basic steps for building a budget in 2024. Building a budget can help you achieve and reach your financial goals. With a budget, you can keep track of your spending, avoid and get out of debt, limit overspending, pay bills on time, and build solid savings habits. What's the best way to get started? Figure out how much to set aside for expenses, like rent, mortgage, bills, groceries, and entertainment. Understanding your past financial habits can help you make the proper adjustments for your budget. Adjusting to a budget can take time as you work to find the right balance, but keep working on it. For more financial health tips, visit chase.com or stop by a local branch. This segment is sponsored by J.P. Morgan Chase & Company.
That morning chill means truck season.
5 more minutes.
No snoozing. Do it all in a Chevy Colorado or Silverado, including the class-leading range of the Silverado EV.
Talking to me?
Work, play, hauling, off-roading, a Chevy truck can take it all.
Okay, I'm up.
Get 1.9% financing on all 2024 Silverado 1500 and Colorado pickups when you finance with GM Financial Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
1.9% APR for 36 months. Monthly payment is $28.60 for every $1,000 you finance. Example down payment 24.5%. Plus finance with GM Financial. Some customers may not qualify. Not available with lease and some other offers. Take new retail delivery by 9/30/24.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DiPrima on First Things First.
Oh, my goodness. So this healthcare CEO shooter, the man in custody, at least the suspect, I guess is what we should call it, the guy who allegedly shot the killer, actually kind of a killer, shot the CEO. I said kind of a killer because they turn away so many people that need health care that end up dying, that there's a kind of killing going on there. Luigi Mangione is his name. He's become like a Bonnie and Clyde style media star. Even though he's in custody, he's gained all these followers. People are posting about him. He's a good-looking guy, which even adds more to that. But and I can understand it. There's a lot of conspiracy theories because this guy's supposed to have a super high IQ. So why would he be sitting in a McDonald's with the murder weapon, a so-called manifesto, whatever, a note saying how he doesn't like capitalism, and the fake ID that fake IDs that he reportedly used to evade detection? He did all that, and then you just gonna go sit in a McDonald's with your face out? I don't know. It doesn't seem like he has mental health problems, but if this goes like some of our other shootings or attempted shootings in the U.S., even assassinations, we may never know. We may never know the truth. He was found with a ghost gun, his fake eye. I mean, like, I'm going to throw away my backpack with Monopoly money, but I'm going to run around everywhere with all the evidence or alleged evidence because his lawyer says there is no evidence. And he was yelling while being taken into custody. People were speculating about what he said. They also claim they found a handwritten note, 262 words, according to the New York Times, and where it says he saw the killing as a symbolic takedown. I am giving authorities the side eye on this. We shall see. I want more evidence because it's awfully convenient. It is very convenient. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I'm also not a coincidence theorist. So I'm going to be tracking. And boy, the internet has a lot to chew on these days, a lot of rabbit holes to go down, and that is one of them. Donald Trump, whoops, I said his name. Well, I don't know. I'm kind of a mixed vibe here on what Dr. Melina Abdullah said. She wants to say his name. She wants to say the name of the party also that is going to be causing us all of this chaos. But anyway, whatever. That guy that y'all elected president has named Kimberly Guilfoyle, our governor, Gavin Newsom's here in California, is his ex. His ex to the next has been named ambassador to Greece by the 47th president-elect. And the reason I'm laughing is because, she's been Donald Trump Jr.'s fiance for 7 years or something. But apparently he has dumped her for some Palm Beach socialite. And the consolation prize is you get to be ambassador to Greece. I'm not really sure. Is that how you keep her from saying where the bodies are buried? Is that how you keep her quiet about all the dirt she has on Donnie Jr.? Because the word is that Donnie Jr. or possibly Ivanka will be put up to run for president in 2028. And then J.D. Vance, or the VP on the milk carton, as Tavis calls him, will be forced to wait until 36 after Ivanka or Donnie Jr. finishes their 2 terms. That's if we still have an America by then. But in any case, I mean, hey, it's a great consolation prize. Your son cheats on me, I get to be an ambassador to Greece with no qualifications or experience. I guess it's no worse than using a pardon for your kid and not for anyone else languishing in jail. But so, it's just funny to me. That is definitely nepotism 2.0. No, you're going to be an ambassador. You get to be an ambassador, and you get to be an ambassador. So the wedding is off, but the ambassadorship is on. Meanwhile, we haven't had a chance to talk much about this, but the president-elect has promised to interview, well, probably that too, to pardon the people that tried to overthrow our government. They call them rioters. I call that traitors, but whatever you want to call it. They're getting pardons, he says, on day one. Even the ones that have pleaded guilty. So apparently you can admit to a crime and still get a presidential pardon. This is what the president-elect told Kristen Welker on Meet the Press. He's saying that, oh, Ma, it's terrible in jail. The system's corrupt. And their whole lives have been destroyed. You keep that same energy for the exonerated 5 or all of the black people who are in prison for nonviolent drug offenses and Latino people and poor people? Or can you keep that same energy for the protesters like Brittany Martin, who served something like 3 years after being, released a little bit early for what? For raising her voice to a cop, not breaching the Capitol, not killing police officers, not taking over the Congress and trying to stop the transfer of power in this country, raising her voice to a cop and saying something he didn't like. Hard time. And I guarantee you that prison environment is no nicer than the one that your traitors are doing time in. 900 of those 1,500 that were arrested pleaded guilty, by the way. Pleaded guilty and can now look forward to a presidential pardon. This is America. KBLA Talk 1580.
The station you turn to when you've had it up to gear with cultural incompetence. KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know from BIN News. A Gallup poll shows 62% of Americans now believe the federal government should ensure health care coverage for everyone, the highest in over a decade. This is up from a low of 42% in 2013 and close to the peak of 69% in 2006. A judge is allowing Navy veteran Zachary Young to proceed with his defamation lawsuit against CNN, which he claims hurt his business in a 2021 segment. A jury trial is scheduled for next month in Florida. Millions on the East Coast will face heavy rains, potential floods, and strong winds from the season's first atmospheric river. Areas from Maine to Long Island could see tropical storm force winds and over an inch of rain with possible thunderstorms and freezing rain. And the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service is proposing protections for the monarch butterfly, with the western population down 95% and the eastern down 80%. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 at BINnews.com.
Lowe's knows how to save you time and money. Order what you need by 2 p.m. to get it delivered same day. Valid on eligible in-stock orders and select zip codes for same-day delivery. Subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase. More terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
USC's women's basketball team had no trouble with Fresno State last night at the Galen Center. The Trojans, ranked 5th in the country, dominated Fresno State 89-40. Juju Watkins and Kiki Irefin combined to score more points than the entire Fresno State team. Irefin led the Trojans with 24 points and 12 rebounds. Watkins finished with 21 points and 5 assists. The 9-1 Trojans are back in action Sunday against Elon at the Galen Center. Kawhi Leonard practiced with the Clippers Tuesday for the first time this season. Leonard has been doing rehab and treatment on his right knee since training camp. He was held out of contact activity, but participated in most of the team's offense and defense drills. Clippers coach Ty Lue said there is still no timetable for when Leonard might be able to play. The Clippers are 14-11 without Leonard and have the sixth best record in the Western Conference. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Break up with stinky clothes.
Rinse it out. Every now and then I get a little bit tired of the stinks that just will never come out. Boy, Downy in the rinse straight. Every now and then I rinse it out. One wash and it delivers. One wash, it smells so clean. Downy Rinse and Refresh, it's a dream.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Fights odor in just one wash. Guaranteed.
The revolution will not be televised.
This is Brother Cornell West. My dear brothers and sisters, I'm full of joy and delight to announce that I'm joining the precious family at KBLA Talk 1580, founded and led by my dear brother Tavis Smiley himself. Yes. The name of the show is Truth Time, and I'll be working with the inimitable Nina Turner out of Cleveland, Ohio, sister of great vision, and we will be on weekday at 12 noon. We will be following Brother Tavis Smiley's show. We will begin Monday, January the 6th. That's right, Monday, January the 6th. Get ready for a different kind of insurrection. We coming with Martin Luther King Jr. and Fannie Lou Hamer and Curtis Mayfield and Aretha Franklin, and gonna add a little Gil Scott Heron too, as Nina Simone sits at the center. That's right.
The revolution will be live.
That's what we gonna do. Please come with us on this fantastic voyage.
The revolution will put you in the driver's seat.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate loses and love wins.
It is a lot right now. The fact that Daniel Penny goes free, right? And as Dr. Melina Abdullah said, my first response was, it's reminding me of the Dred Scott case. The white man has, the black man has no rights, which a white man is bound to honor. That was the Dred Scott decision, supposedly no longer the law of the land, but it certainly looks that way. Kill a black person, get rich on GoFundMe, and walk away with no consequence. At the same time, the healthcare CEO shooter has been taken into custody, and while I do not condone murder of, anyone, it's clearly outlining the priorities of this country. People die in poor communities every single day. They're murdered. People walk up on them and murder them. There's no interstate mobilization to find that person. Most of the time, people don't care. I mean, the thing that I learned that shocked me the most deeply about law enforcement in recent years is the number of unsolved murders. The number of unsolved murders in the black community. In poor communities. That law enforcement just never, okay, you're dead. Oh, well. The statement about whose lives are valuable in the official systems of this country is so loud and so clear. We don't care about you. You're homeless. You're poor. You're black. You're an artist. We don't care about you. You can be killed, and we just look the other way and keep it moving. But don't be a rich CEO who's under investigation by the Department of Justice for insider trading. Don't be that person. We'll have to mobilize the FBI, the CIA, the state police, the local police in every jurisdiction, and spend millions to find your killer, even while cold cases languish in every city. And never mind, your own criminality. And it's really a statement, too, on how fed up the American people are, how fed up we are with the healthcare system. It's time for Medicare for all. It's the lesson of European empires, right? When the gap between the rich and the poor gets too wide, when the pay for the average CEO is so far distant from the pay for the rank and file workers or their customers, that becomes unsustainable. When people are dying or suffering in pain because they cannot get coverage even though they're paying premiums. When the health insurance companies are running the system so that we spend more for less care than any country in the world, yeah, the people are going to be mad. And no, they're not going to feel that sad when something evil and wrong befalls you. That should be a wake-up call for Republicans. Everyone wants to talk about, it's time for a wake-up call for Dems. Yeah, the wake-up call for Dems is stop half-stepping and go full progressive to what the people need. Medicare for all, student loan forgiveness, cutting the defense budget so we have money for the greening of our infrastructure beyond the bipartisan infrastructure bill, which the president-elect is already vowing to take down, along with Obamacare and Social Security. We're going the opposite direction. The Republicans are the ones right now who should have a wake-up call with this United CEO murder, because they're the ones that are planning to cut Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, moving in the exact opposite direction of what the people are saying in response to the murder of Brian Thompson. That should be a wake-up call to them. Hands off Social Security, not because someone might murder you, but because this is the will of the people. And, you've seen the memes on social media. They say the only CEO who's safe is the CEO of Costco, who refuses to raise the price of hot dogs and a slice of pizza. And while I'm not condoning the murder of CEOs, doesn't this tell you something about what's really putting pressure on Americans? Not the suspect himself, but the response of the people to the suspect in making him into a folk hero. Okay, we got a lot to talk about. I digress. A judge has rejected the sale of Alex Jones's InfoWars website to The Onion. I hate this story so much. What happened to your free market capitalism? The Onion bought the InfoWars website with the help of the Sandy Hook families so that Alex Jones couldn't get back on there, activate his followers, and start telling more lies. Lies that impact real families who've had their loved ones murdered by mass shooters. But a federal judge rejected that sale at auction, saying that the bidding was flawed. And that's a huge victory for Alex Jones, but it just goes to show you once again, these judges protecting these far right-wing conspiracy theorists. What they said, they put their best foot forward. The Onion did, tried to play within the rules. They offered $1.75 million in cash and incentives for InfoWars. And the families were helping by being willing to defer some of their payments. But the judge said, nope, we're going to side with the conspiracy theorist who brings additional pain to families whose children have already been murdered at school. He was saying that Sandy Hook was a hoax. 20 children were murdered in that shooting, and 6 teachers. Yeah. The judges. Another reason to remind Congress to hurry up and confirm those judges that Joe Biden did appoint. There's 23 black judges. I don't know how many have gotten through. But come on, y'all. We got like a little over a month. Dee from LA, you have the floor.
Good morning, Dominique. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm blessed. Thank you. I was pleased to learn that for the first time, the number of people who support Medicare for all hit a certain threshold.
Okay. Are you feeling like that's going to make, like we're moving in the direction of sort of critical mass of people understanding and accepting what universal health care really is?
I think we are. I think we are. And we all have the law of large numbers and the central limit theorem to thank for that. When you consistently and repetitively sample, you reach a peak with low dispersion and low variance. That just means that the costs go down as people crowd into the center. It's a simple mathematical function. And, it applies to a lot of things. It applies to politics. I happen to be center-left. And so that's where I know that's where all the votes are. That's why you get so many centrists in American politics.
You know what? I don't agree with that, Dee. I think that's what Democrats think, and apparently it's not what Republicans, other than you, think, because they've gone full MAGA. The Republican Party has gone authoritarian. They're making, Mr. Corruption Trial Netanyahu look like a Sunday school teacher. And I think Dems need to wake up to the fact that it's the progressive policies, not the name progressive or the name the squad or the reputation, but the actual policies. Medicare for all, student loan forgiveness.
Look at Mitt Romney, former governor of Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
He sponsored single-payer health insurance for the state of Massachusetts.
He did, yeah, and it worked really well for them.
Right. His wing of the party is very tiny. I think that I think Republicans can come together for the greatest good for the greatest number, and I think that
not today's Republican Party. Not today's Republican Party.
It depends what you're talking about.
I'm talking about the people that control in 2025 the House, the Senate, the Supreme Extreme Court, and the executive branch. I'm talking about the MAGA, authoritarian, new Confederate extremists that the Republican Party has come to be dominated by.
There's also self-interest.
No doubt.
So,
I should have added corrupt. You're right.
There is self-interest, and when people seek their own self-interest, it doesn't always align with who the head of the party is. So people will take care of themselves first. So I see a nascent movement in which you have more moderate Republicans within the big tent.
I'm looking for it. I got my binoculars out. I hope you're a psychic, and that's the future, because it's sure not the present, Dee. We'll continue our conversation when we come forward. This is the place where we're amplifying black and progressive voices on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
The holidays can be a time of increased stress for those struggling with opioid or stimulant addiction. They can also be a time for pause, reflection, opportunity, and new beginnings. This holiday season, choose treatment and recovery, embrace the company of family and friends, and create special moments. Find a proven opioid or stimulant addiction treatment provider near you at choosechangeca.org.
This season, Chevy brings classic pairings, cookies and milk, mistletoe and kisses, and your holiday plans and a new Chevy. Silverado 1500 gives you power and capability, with 430 pound-feet of torque to haul your holiday tree. Equinox EV and the all-new Equinox offer award-winning quality and style to see you through the holiday season. See why Chevy makes everything better and brighter. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
Hey, Mom, I've been meaning to talk to you about some new COVID information I saw online.
Uh-huh.
I read that 3 out of 4 adults in the United States have a high risk factor for severe COVID-19. And Black folks like us with certain conditions like diabetes, heart disease, mental health conditions, or being 50 and older are at high risk.
Boy, you sound like a commercial.
I'm just saying. I know you love your ginger teas and essential oils, but remember, there are treatment options for COVID-19.
I promise if I get sick again, I'll call my doctor to ask about my options.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. Every girl deserves a chance to shine. That's the belief behind Forgiving for Living, Inc. Since 1999, this organization has been empowering at-risk girls ages 13 to 18, helping them overcome behavioral and mental health challenges. Founder Wendy Gladney's personal journey inspired the mission to give girls hope and purpose through the power of forgiveness. Through their ambassador program, workshops, and annual conference, Forgiving for Living has touched over 3,000 young lives, providing mentoring, life skills, training, and tools for building self-esteem and confidence. You can make a difference. Visit forgivingforliving.org to donate, volunteer, become a mentor, or find help for a young girl in need. Forgiving for Living, Inc., building brighter futures for young girls. Visit forgivingforliving.org today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive.
Hi, I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. You've been hearing me guest host here on KBLA Talk 1580, and I'm having a blast. But I'm excited about joining the official lineup here at KBLA Talk 1580 starting Monday, January 6th at 1 p.m. Start your day with First Things First and Dominique DiPrima at 6 a.m. Check out Tavis Smiley at 9 a.m. Tune into Truth Time with Dr. Cornell West and Nina Turner at 12 noon, and then tap in with me on The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show at 1 p.m. weekdays. I served 17 years in the U.S. Congress, and I can tell you it's going to be a rough 4 years, so let's navigate this journey together. It's The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show, starting Monday, January 6th at 1 p.m. on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Find a righteous rage, and don't be afraid to say what you see. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
And we don't black down. Dee was talking about the Republican Party having this new center right, center left, center of anything, moderate wing surge. I don't see it. You mentioned Mitt Romney, but Mitt Romney feels very much like the party's past, not the distant past of Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, I beg to differ. I think he's the future. I think he's the future of the Republican Party. You have people like Christine Todd Whitman. You have people like who's the guy in New Jersey?
Mitt Romney is 77 years old, and you believe he's the future of the party?
In terms of doctrine, yes, he can lead a movement.
Well, let's hope you're right.
And the Republican Party could return to its roots.
Lord, how far we've fallen. The fact that I would be wishing that the Republican Party would be Mitt Romney.
Chris Christie's the name I want.
Oh, that guy, yeah.
That guy.
Well,
Dominique, I'm left of center. So
for a Republican.
I'm still a Republican, small R Republican.
Okay. Well, I hope you're right, Dee. I don't see it. I don't see it on the horizon. It seems like every time I look up, the MAGA is getting more MAGA-y. It's getting more authoritarian. What was it?
Have you heard of Paul Tsongas? Do you remember Paul Tsongas?
Mm-hmm.
That was the perfect campaign for me.
Well, okay. I'm trying to think. What was it that happened yesterday that they're calling for they're literally calling for the jailing of Democrats who are doing their job, whether it be Adam Schiff or whoever it might be. That where is the moderate in that? And how are these moderates in the Republican Party? And now they've put this nut job, and I don't like to name call, but Marjorie Taylor Greene is clearly a nut job. Or
I know the name, but I don't know who she is.
She's a Republican congresswoman, and she's now...
Is she black?
Not at all. Not even a little bit.
Not even a little bit. Okay.
Not even a little bit. I mean, I guess in some ways we're all black, right? We all descend from Africa,
right.
But no. Now she's going to be working with Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy to cut the government.
I'm waiting for the labor unions to stop fighting each other and to organize and push back. And I think it's going to happen. Self-interest, again, kicks in eventually. Inevitably, there is pushback. It doesn't make sense for the United Farm Workers to fight with the United Auto Workers, to fight with the Teamsters, to fight with...
but I mean, look, there's also some of the division in the labor union movement right now is precisely MAGA, because there is a large number of mostly white men and some Latino men who are union members who have gone over to the dark side. Right. And that's one of the main things that's causing that division, at least in the national landscape.
When Gore ran, there was division. I think the UFW, United Farm Workers, went with him, and the Teamsters went with someone else. So this is not something new.
No, but it's a lot worse. Like mostly everything under this new authoritarian Republican Party. Look, Honey Brown 24 in the chat says that white adjacency is about to be put to the test, and I think that's right. We were talking about Beverly Hills High, where the people, according to James Farr, the people yelling KKK and yelling N-word and smearing feces around the campus in acts of racial terror are mostly Iranian Americans. And that's that white adjacency. Like many of the union members, Latino and otherwise, who are not white, who went MAGA, well, they're not talking about deporting us. They're not talking about breaking our union. That must be the next man's union. I do think you're right, Dee, though, that as we see as people see the true union busting colors of the Trump administration, some of these union members are going to start uniting. I hate that it has to be F around and find out. You know what I mean? Couldn't you just be smart enough to figure it out? The guy's been anti-union his whole life. Look at how he builds his hotels. Look at how he runs his hotels. You know what I'm saying? It's not mysterious. Look at the things he did in his first term.
Did you read his book? I know he didn't write it, but I read it.
The Art of the Deal? No.
The Art of the Deal.
Did not. I can barely stand to listen to him talk. And although you're right, he had a ghostwriter, no. I pretty much know where he's coming from. Although perhaps skimming it might make sense. I have seen the interviews with the guy that actually wrote it.
Oh, okay.
And
Clarence Thomas wrote his book.
What does he want, a cookie?
It was compelling. It was compelling, Dominique. Okay. I mean, the way, the way he posited it was very compelling.
I bet I know what's not in that book.
Okay. I can tell you what's not in the book. That his grandfather never used the words "no good Negroes."
I know what's not in the book. The fact that he's accepted massive bribes from people looking to shape Supreme Court decisions. That's not in the book. That RV and how he paid for that super luxury RV, I bet you that's not in the book.
Like, Clarence, you got to be black. You got to be black.
800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. That's the number D called. As always, I appreciate you. Want to land for me, D?
You said it all.
We said it all, okay? It wasn't just me.
All right.
Wasn't just me on the mic. Another story I've been trying to talk about for the longest time, but it's just been too doggone busy. This police detective in Kansas who was routinely sexually assaulting black women. He was 71 years old, and had been charged for criminal charges for 4 different black women that he had abused. And, this has been going on over a period of years and years. So who knows how many victims there actually were. 2 of them he had been sexually abusing starting at a very young age. One when she was allegedly in middle school, and the other one when she was a young mom. 7 other women were supposed to testify that he harassed them and abused them. And this is a pattern that this white police officer, Officer Golubski, had been apparently doing for decades. He was a predator. He'd go to poor neighborhoods and he would demand sexual favors, threaten to put their relatives and loved ones in jail if they refused his advances. This man, Roger Golubski, from Kansas City, Kansas, shot himself right when he was about to start his criminal trial. This man who had been terrorizing black women for decades in Kansas could not face his day in court. He shot himself on the back porch of his home. The Kansas Bureau of Investigation said no indications of foul play. He was facing 6 felony counts of violating black women's civil rights, and he shot himself. It's a terrible, terrible, sad story. The fact that these women had to withstand this abuse for decades. The reason I'm talking about it, though, is because we're, as newsmakers, as journalists, as opinion talkers, we select from an endless number, a literally infinite number of news stories and topics. And so part of media literacy means checking what mainstream media decides to focus on. What are they focusing on 24/7? What are they not focusing on? What are they overlooking? When people say that this Daniel Penny guy, and they are saying it on social media, was a hero for murdering a black homeless man, are they ignoring these kinds of criminal cases against predators on the black community? 800-920-1580, that's the number to call, but we are talking alternatives to incarceration when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know from BIN News. A Gallup poll shows 62% of Americans now believe the federal government should ensure health care coverage for everyone, the highest in over a decade. This is up from a low of 42% in 2013 and close to the peak of 69% in 2006. A judge is allowing Navy veteran Zachary Young to proceed with his defamation lawsuit against CNN, which he claims hurt his business in a 2021 segment. A jury trial is scheduled for next month in Florida. Millions on the East Coast will face heavy rains, potential floods, and strong winds from the season's first atmospheric river. Areas from Maine to Long Island could see tropical storm force winds and over an inch of rain with possible thunderstorms and freezing rain. And the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service is proposing protections for the monarch butterfly, with the western population down 95% and the eastern down 80%. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 at BINnews.com.
Lowe's knows how to save you time and money. Order what you need by 2 p.m. to get it delivered same day. Valid on eligible in-stock orders and select zip codes for same-day delivery. Subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase. More terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
USC's women's basketball team had no trouble with Fresno State last night at the Galen Center. The Trojans, ranked 5th in the country, dominated Fresno State 89-40. Juju Watkins and and Kiki Irefin combined to score more points than the entire Fresno State team. Irefin led the Trojans with 24 points and 12 rebounds. Watkins finished with 21 points and 5 assists. The 9-1 Trojans are back in action Sunday against Elon at the Galen Center. Kawhi Leonard practiced with the Clippers Tuesday for the first time this season. Leonard has been doing rehab and treatment on his right knee since training camp. He was held out of contact activity, but participated in most of the team's offense and defense drills. Clippers coach Ty Lue said there is still no timetable for when Leonard might be able to play. The Clippers are 14-11 without Leonard and have the 6th best record in the Western Conference. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 invites you to join us in celebrating the season of giving by being part of the solution. As we enjoy great food, family, warmth, and well wishes in whatever our festive tradition may be, we share the beauty of the season by reaching out to the less fortunate. Please help us to help others with the KBLA Cover the Houseless Cozy Community Coat and Blanket Drive. All you have to do is drop off new or clean, gently used winter coats and blankets in the KBLA lobby during business hours. Now through December 20th, all of the coats and blankets will be donated to unsheltered individuals and families experiencing houselessness. Simply bring your donation to 4434 Crenshaw Boulevard in Los Angeles, near Vernon Avenue, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. weekdays. That's 4434 Crenshaw in historic Leimert Park. During the holidays and every day, let's remember, we keep us safe. We keep us warm. We are the safety net, and together we can cover the unsheltered. Get caught up in the spirit of the season, the spirit of love. Make a difference with your friends at KBLA Talk 1580.
Fit my feet.